Back when I was younger and had way too much time on my hands, I spent a ridiculous amount of time keeping myself occupied with whatever cool looking games I could find at the App Store. And luckily for me, there was no shortage of good looking ones to choose from. Nowadays, I'm really not a fan of mobile games since they're less actual games and more just elaborate attempts to get you to accidentally purchase some of their in-game currency. And you know, sometimes there's actually a game in there that you get to play only after watching 500 ads. But back in the day, there used to be some really cool ones that stood out amongst the massive catalog. So today, I'm going to be taking a look at some of those older apps that I, and I'm sure many others, played the absolute hell out of. I did only want to cover the more forgotten and less talked about ones, so no Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja, Flappy Bird and all that, because I'm pretty sure we all remember those ones, you piece of shit! The ones that I really wanted to talk about are the ones that are gonna make you go, oh yeah, I remember that! And then immediately go right back to forgetting it. I've got 14 games to cover. Don't ask me why 14, okay? And since I couldn't decide what order for them to be in, this time I'm gonna leave it up to a wheel. So spin away. Oh. Okay. You know that thing you do where you crumple up a piece of paper and you decide that the coolest moment in your life is now? And so then you try and trick shot the ball into the nearest bin only to miss and realize your entire life is a disappointment? Yeah, well they made a whole game out of that. Paper Toss is an app as simple as the title suggests, and is one of the very first games I ever played on a phone. And I gotta tell you, it really showed off the amazing technology that Apple had on offer here. All you do is toss paper into a bin. That's the game. And it's great. The challenge comes with the presence of a fan, which alters the wind direction of how far away from the bin you need to aim. So you kind of just have to estimate where the wind is going to push your paper into the target. Lots of strategy involved in throwing paper into a bin, apparently. And as you can see by the footage, I am very good at it. Damn it. Aside from the default office, there's a lot of other different locations that each have the bin in a different position away from you to add to the challenge. I never thought I'd be saying this, but it's somewhat atmospheric. There's no super annoying music in the background that you would expect mobile games like this to have. You know, like... Shut the fuck up! All you have is the sound of the bin and the disappointed cries of the crowd whenever you miss. It's the perfect pick up and play when you've got a minute to spare and you're really bored game. And man, I must have been bored a lot. Pocket God, the biggest time waster of all time. This is a game that everyone seems to have played at some point, but no one ever mentions. Pocket God is an app that allows you to be the benevolent god you've always wanted to be by ruling over some poor innocent islanders. There is so much for you to do in this game. Half of the fun is playing around with these guys, called pygmies, who you can spawn in at will. You have a map in which you can travel to different islands, each with their own activities and events you could trigger depending on what you did. It's really up to you how you take care of these guys. You could help them eat and cook, build a fire, fight off enemies, or you could just kill them all violently. That too. And man, did this game give you many different ways to kill them. You could impale them, burn them to death, drown them, get them eaten by sharks, throw them into space, blow them up with a laser shark. You know, your usual stuff. Pocket God kept getting updates in the form of episodes in which a new island or challenge was introduced. It hasn't been updated in a very long while, but it's far from lacking in content. Aside from your regular torturing of the pygmies, there was a Donkey Kong game, an endless runner mode, a DDR minigame that I suck so hard at, an entire idle battle mode that I played the hell out of, and even boss fights, and that's still not everything. To show you its age though, one of the pygmies is named Charlie, in reference to Charlie Sheen, you know, the star of hit movie 9/11, back when he was a meme and all that, and he sometimes randomly turns into a tiger and slices people in half. Charlie in the game, that is. Cool, I'ma just turn him off. They did make a sequel in the form of Pocket God Journey to Uranus, but I never liked that game as much. It was more minigame based and didn't receive nearly as many updates. I hope me bringing it up inspires people to check on their pygmies, because they've probably gone untortured for way too long. Anyway, next up. Actually, yeah, maybe not this one. I'm just gonna spin again. Ah, well, here's a random one. Who needs Tony Hawk games when you have Snow Free? You know a game is good when right from the get-go it uses stock sound effects and music.
Going down.
Oh, hell yeah, this is gonna be great. Crazy Snowboard is a pretty run-of-the-mill snowboarding game that I used to think had super impressive graphics for a phone game. I mean, look at that shadow. It's pretty basic in all honesty. The controls are limited to tilting the phone to steer, holding and releasing the screen to jump, and being able to do some stunts in the air. Though it's more or less only directional while grabbing your board, they're not really tricks. Unless you call this a trick. Of course though, the best part about these skate or snowboarding games is killing the shit out of your guy whenever you crash. The app has both a free mode where you can snowboard around to your heart's content, as well as a mission mode that has you completing simple tasks like passing through gates or collecting letters scattered throughout the course. You can also collect coins that let you purchase other boards and dudes, but they're all pretty expensive, so unless you're willing to sink a lot of time into this game, it's unlikely you'll get to use them. And I can't see many people willing to play this for that long. Anywho, not all that much to talk about here, it's just a fun time waster if you're 10 years old. Office Jerk is a game where you get to bully the shit out of some poor random guy who's just trying to earn a living to support his family. It's like paper toss, but instead of throwing it at a bin, you're throwing it at this guy's head. What are you looking at me for? I didn't do it. The game gives you a rather large range of things to throw at him, ranging from being mild annoyances to probably causing severe brain damage. In fact, I'd say you have too many things to throw at him, though most of them have to be purchased using coins you earn from completing challenges. Some of these items include a piece of paper, a stapler, a cupcake, a pie, a phone, a live squid, and a computer monitor. Much like paper toss, there is a fan present to make it challenging to aim, but this affects all of the things you throw. And man, do I love the implication that this fan is powerful enough to affect the trajectory of a monitor. I have no idea what this poor man has done to deserve this, but I can't exactly say I feel bad, because I love throwing things at him. Ow! Hey, Subway Surfers! Now, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about Temple Run, but I didn't say anything for the large amount of Temple Run inspired games and knockoffs. Like Minion Rush! Anyone remember Minion Rush? Yeah, I didn't think so. My favorite of the bunch at the time was Subway Surfers. Like all of these endless runner games, the goal is to outrun your pursuer, this time being a police officer who is just trying to uphold the law. Like, come on man, who's the real bad guy here? You do this by swiping up and down to jump and roll under things, and left and right to dodge out of the way of obstacles. You can also double tap to activate a hoverboard that doesn't really do all that much. The game gets progressively more difficult the more you last, eventually resulting in you dying in some painful, glitchy way. But if you're lucky enough, you can take the cop with you. Unfortunately, as you can see though, this app is absolutely showered with things trying to trick you into spending money. Oh cool, I get a free gift? Oh. Collect 138 more to unlock an outfit. The in-game store is completely littered with ads, and the whole thing is just filled to the brim with attempts to make you accidentally buy something. What happened, you Subway Surfers? You used to be cool. There is a game left in there somewhere, but all of the fun is kind of sucked out of it when navigating the menus is like trying to cross a minefield, where one wrong step sends you to the App Store. Ah, damn it! Yeah, I'm gonna be fine deleting this one. Yeah. Ooh, My Singing Monsters is one of those island building games, like Dragon Vale, or Dragon City, or Dragon World, or Dragon Village, or Dragon... No one tell them I'm not actually 80, okay? This app sees you collecting monsters to fill an island space, but the gimmick here is that each of the monsters sing. Surprising, I know. Every new monster is another instrument to what becomes an a cappella, and it is so very charming. Each type of monster you buy can make a different type of sound, so the more you get, the more complete the song is, and eventually your island can sound like this. Yeah, sounds great. I named this guy Dingus. Isn't he cute? It is plagued by the same problem as all of these type of games though, and that the pay-to-win function is done through the ungodly amount of waiting that's required for everything you hatch or build to be completed. You could wait 500 years, or you could just be impatient and pay money. So because of that, the first like 20 minutes or so is filled with actual content, and then it's just waiting, and waiting, and waiting. Unless you want to pay, otherwise it's just waiting, and waiting. I have to say, My Singing Monsters is adorable. The chorus of creatures is super cute, and I love it. If only it wasn't a mobile game. Anyway, I'll see you guys in 500 years when my egg finally hatches. Sky Burger is a game where you have to make a burger out of ingredients falling from the sky. I am not quite sure where they are coming from or if those should be eaten, but alrighty then, I don't make the rules, I just work here. The game is motion control, which is really what makes it so fun. And you have to get the right ingredients for each order you're given without ending the burger too soon so that it's barely got anything on it. I mean, come on, this isn't McDonald's. And who is the freaking freak who wants that much cheese in his burger? Sir, are you trying to give yourself a heart attack? After completing enough orders, you eventually unlock a Sky Burger round where your aim is to just make the tallest and unhealthiest tower of meat and vegetables that you can. All the while you get to listen to a pretty sweet tune in the back, which was quite refreshing after some of the more grating background tracks these other apps have subjected me to. Well, I gotta say, if nothing else, I am now very hungry for a burger. God damn it, fine! That's the game. That's it. This is the game. I paid like $1 for this. You can't even see it because you hold the phone backwards. Why did I buy this? It's entertaining for like 4 seconds. There's so much spit on my phone now. There, done. Next game. Rat on a skateboard. Donut Games.
Donut Games.
Oh, sorry.
Donut Games
was a studio that made a ton of these little games that all cost around $1. But a few years ago, for a limited time each month, they made some of them free to download. And so every month I would get them and then be disappointed they weren't as good as Rat on a Skateboard. Now don't be fooled by his strangely phallic looking snout. This rat is hardcore. There were 3 rat apps that Donut Games made. Rat on a Skateboard, Rat on a Snowboard, and Rat on a Scooter XL. I'm not quite sure what the XL stands for, to be honest. Skateboard was my personal favorite of the 3, where you face an obstacle course of things trying to kill you as this poor rat is just trying to have a fun afternoon and some asshole keeps throwing basketballs at him. When you jump, you can keep tapping to do tricks, but the real satisfaction comes from grinding on rails. Snowboard is very similar to Skateboard, while Scooter is much simpler. It's basically a platformer in which you jump and collect cheese and avoid falling to your untimely demise. And if you need it, you have an extra little toot that can save you from dying. You can also grind on the platforms if you get close enough to them. Don't ask me how that works. All 3 games have a bunch of different modes too, like endless courses or a run with power-ups, and Skateboard even has a mission mode. Don't run into the barrel. Fuck, this is so hard. I love these little games, as simple as they are. They always kept me coming back to try and beat my high score, and whether you got them for free or for $1, they were well worth your time. I'm just waiting for the inevitable rat in hospital after breaking his neck from a road basketball game. Oh yeah, it's time for extreme forklifting, baby! This is the greatest game on here, and you know it! Oh yeah! Go, 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 go! Hell yeah, extreme forklifting! Tiny Tower! Tiny Tower was my absolute favorite app as a kid. The aim of this game is to build your tower as tall as you want by making residential apartments for citizens to move into, then building stores and hiring them to work there. The game's adorable presentation is really what made it so appealing for me, despite what you actually do in the game on paper sounding about as fun as paying taxes. I played this one for ages since I just loved managing the tower. It's one of those apps that you check back in every day or so just to restock all your shops and see how everything is going, due to the length of time it takes for things to happen. Sadly, yes, not even Tiny Tower was saved from the in-game waiting times that could only be bypassed by spending the rare in-game currency, but I have to say that this app was a lot more lenient than others when it came to rewarding you with it. There were 2 forms of money in the game: regular coins and bucks, which could be used to upgrade all the things the game just wanted you to pay for with real money, like changing the look of the roof or the lobby, or getting the elevator to move faster than 1 centimeter an hour. There were also 5 types of stores you could build, and each citizen has points directed towards how much they enjoy a certain position. And there are just so many different stores to build. Even today, I am still finding new ones every time I create a new floor. A lot of little details really made the tower feel alive, most especially BitBook, where randomly generated messages from citizens would appear informing the world of how much they hate their job. You could write in there too, of course. Overall, Tiny Tower is a super fun and cute game that kept me playing for a very long time. But unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to delete this one before I get addicted again. Not again. Oh, great. Talking Tom. You know what this is used for. The Talking App series was a whole bunch of games in which you had an animal trapped in your phone screen that would repeat back to you what you say to it in a funny, high-pitched voice. Amazing, I know. But there were so many of these games. Talking Ben the dog, Talking Tom and Ben News, Talking Angela, Uwu, Talking Bacteria, Talking Robot, fucking Gina the Giraffe, Talking Bieber. Wait, I don't think that's an official one. The one that started it all was Talking Tom, which today I learned has a dedicated fart button. And you know anything with a dedicated fart button is getting 5 stars.
Subscribe to Diamondbolt.
He said it, not me. I just opened Talking Tom, and this is what comes up. That is probably the least appealing ad I've ever seen in my entire life. There's not really much else to do in the game aside from talking to him and feeding him things, I guess. Wow, that's exciting. The app expanded into a popular series for a while, with merchandise, new games, and even a cartoon show being pumped out in the brief time when people actually gave a shit about Talking Tom, leaving the original game and this poor guy in the same alleyway he started from. All alone. But let's be honest, the only reason anyone had this app was to beat the shit out of him. Yeah, this is fun for like a minute. Dance, monkey, dance! Yay! Yay! Car Stunts is one of my favorite games on mobile without a doubt. I love this game. Now, I don't know if something on my phone is broken or if the game just doesn't work with modern software or something, but man was this hard to play. I mean, look at this. This is not right. I managed to make it playable by turning down the sensitivity, and while it wasn't perfect, it at least worked. Just not like it's meant to. When the controls actually do work, you play as what looks like one of those totally unrealistic Hot Wheels cars in which you navigate courses in the fastest time you can without... yeah, that. The game is motion controlled, which is the reason why my phone is refusing to function with it. You steer by turning the phone and have a boost and a brake button. When you launch into the air, you can direct it toward where you're meant to go, which is anywhere other than the gaping abyss. It can be pretty challenging, but so satisfying when you get it right. This isn't one of those games that you play just because you're bored. This is a game that I would grab my phone just to play. It's super smooth and responsive and incredibly fun once you get a knack for it. They luckily made a sequel that contains a bunch more content than the original, but it still won't work on my iPhone. I hope this isn't a problem for anyone else, because I really want people to give this game a go. And finally, I don't know why I'm spinning actually when there's only one left, but whatever. If I had to pick a favorite app out of all of the ones in this video, it would have to be Jetpack Joyride, the best endless runner of all time. You play as Barry, some random dude who, after somehow managing to break into a top secret science facility and stealing their jetpack that they just leave near the entrance, I guess, you try and see how long you can last avoiding the base's defenses of lasers, electric barriers, and freaking missiles. Jeez, are you trying to destroy the jetpack? Your starting equipment is a machine gun jetpack that allows you to mercilessly kill the shit out of the innocent scientists fleeing from your reign of terror. This guy here was 2 days from retirement. He had a family, Barry. The real standouts in this game are the vehicle power-ups, ranging from the little stomper, the crazy freaking teleporter, a giant robot dragon named Mr. Cuddles, Angry Birds, Timmy, you can't say that, that's a rude word, and an ad for Gravity Guy. And there was also the Sam, which was a giant mech that you could play as long as you don't get bombarded to death with missiles. There are missions that provide you with an incentive other than just lasting as long as you can, that when completed provide you with coins to go browsing at the game's gigantic store. You could buy upgrades for power-ups, vehicle skins, outfits for Barry, new jetpacks, and the best of all, gadgets that effectively served as permanent power-ups as long as you had them activated. Like the puppy, yeah. You could also collect spin tokens throughout each run that you could use in a slot machine after you die, letting you have a chance to be revived or win money or other goodies, to make that tragic loss sting a little less. You could trade them in for coins as well if you didn't want to succumb to your underlying gambling addiction. The amount of jetpacks and unlockables in this one kept me playing for ages. It's such a well-made little game. It does have in-app purchases, of course, but they're nowhere near a shove down your throat as something like Subway Surfers in 2019. I love Jetpack Joyride to death, and a testament to its design is that it's still super fun to play even after all this time. Also, I just want to complain that when I got this game, it was paid, and now it's completely free. My rage is unending. Unfortunately, there were some apps I couldn't cover in this video since you can't download them anymore. One of these was Mino Monsters, the best Pokemon ripoff of all time that I really want to play. The developer needs to update it to work with my iOS, my ass. The other was Run, a basic but addicting endless runner that I really miss. It's just there, taunting me. I can't play it, but it's there. I can't believe these games are just gone. I'm gonna give the App Store a bad review on the App Store for this. That'll show them. I'm gonna let Tom do the outro this time.
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check me out on Twitter. Send it in my PO box. You got your package open in the video. And check out our second channel, Button Smashes.
Thank you, Tom. Shut up. See you next time.